Hey guys, G here, back at Luna Geckos. Thank you. Finally, we're gonna do a video where, guess what? We show geckos. Yeah, that's right. It's Gecko Day here at Luna Geckos. What we're gonna do, because there's too many and the video will be too long, so we're not gonna be able to go through everybody today. So what we decided, let's meet the boys. So we're going to run through a dozen or so geckos that are our designated breeders for the 2021 season. And I'll walk you through every one of them and we can talk about it. You ready? You don't seem ready. Seriously. Are you ready? Let's do it.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
All right, here we go. You know what? We needed a theme song for this. We reached out to Hank Williams Jr. because remember the old Monday Night Football? Are you ready for some football? We wanted to get him to do, are you ready for some geckos? He didn't reply. Actually, I'm just kidding. We didn't reach out to him. So let me grab my glasses and grab a little hand sanitizer. And remember, what we're going to do today is we're going to meet the boys. So we're going to run you through about a dozen. I think it's actually 13. But we're going to run you through about a dozen or so. Well, it's a baker's dozen. We're going to run you through a baker's dozen of males that are breeding in the 2021 season. And interesting, and we'll talk about it as we go through each one of them, but I name all of the geckos here at Luna Geckos, sometimes for quirky, weird reasons, but I'll walk you through their names and I'll tell you, what their morph is and what, their genetics are. Might not tell you all their genetics because, you know what, Colonel Sanders wouldn't give you the recipe to the secret sauce if you asked him how to make chicken. So, might not tell you everything that's in there, but we'll tell you most of what's in there. And we'll talk about some of the projects that we're going to do with them. But without further ado, let's meet the boys. All right, here we go. First up is Greg. Greg is a new addition for the 2021 season. And the reason his name is Greg is that he's a Golden Gate Geckos Sunglow. And everybody knows Golden Gate Geckos. Marsha McGinnis. Marsha, Greg. Anyway, this is Greg. Greg is a pure Golden Gate Geckos lineage Sunglow, het free. He's being brought in this year as part of a couple different tangerine projects that we're working on, trying to put a little Golden Gate Gecko blood into some of our tangerine projects. So that's our buddy Greg. He's nice and lean. Like I said, pure Golden Gate Geckos lineage, het free. We just added him not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, but he's getting in the game this year. All right, next up is Thomas. Thomas is a Max Snow Eclipse. And I'll tell you, we cleaned all these bins yesterday, so everybody has fresh water and food, and they're relatively clean. Obviously, we're probably going to see some of them made a mess and maybe a little bit of pooping in here, but just cleaned yesterday. So if you see condensation on the front, it's because I see some on the fire water, maybe one down there on the Turkmenicus, but generally what happens is they get a bunch of condensation on the front right after we clean. We don't typically keep them that humid. It's a day or two after we clean that humidity will go back to more normal ambient humidity. So this is Thomas. Thomas is a Max Snow Eclipse. He's a holdback from 2020, so this will be his first season breeding. And his name is Thomas because he happened to be our 12th hatchling of the 2020 season. And it's so appropriate now because he was the 12th hatchling. Number 12, who's the most famous number 12 ever? Got to be Tom Brady, right? We'll see how he does in the Super Bowl, his 10th Super Bowl. But anyway, this is Thomas. He's a sweet boy. He's actually already been with a couple females this year. We're just waiting on some eggs. We'll see how he did. But he's nice, big and thick Max Snow Eclipse. So that's Thomas. And I also forgot to mention he's a white and yellow. So he's a Max Snow Eclipse. See those eyes? He's a Max Snow Eclipse white and yellow, or if you prefer, a white and yellow Max Snow Eclipse. He's a first-time breeder. He's already been with a couple females. We're just waiting on eggs. Nice big long boy. His dad was a Super Snow Eclipse. Super long. Whoops. Get your foot out of the water, brother. Alright, next up on the list is Crush. Crush is a Mandarin Tangerine who happens to be 100% het NDBE. So 2 or 3 seasons ago, we jumped into the NDBE project, and shortly thereafter, the NDBEs started having some problems. They would have small eyes, be very light sensitive. Obviously, had amazing color enhancement, but I don't want to continue with the NDBE project. I just don't feel like it's a line that's worth pursuing. So unfortunately, the Mandarin line I love, but the Mandarins that we work with have NDBE, and so Crush is a breeder male that's gonna be the start of working the NDBE out of the Mandarin Tangerine line. So this will be his first season breeding. He also, I wouldn't say he starred, he was a background actor in some television commercials in Canada with his mom, who we're not going to see today. She was a star. But this is Crush. He's a 2020 holdback. He'll be breeding for the first time this year. He's actually already been with 2 or 3 females. We're just waiting for some eggs. Look at that tangerine with that green. And he has that gorgeous tail. Look at that tail on that boy. All right. Oh, go back in, brother. Are you kidding me? We're on camera here. You have to behave. Come here. Come here. Come. Gotcha. I gotcha. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. No, they're out there. No, they're not over there. They're out there. Say hi. Oh, next up is Mr. Mellow. This guy's awesome. We actually featured him last week. Well, I didn't feature him. He had a little cameo last week. But Mr. Mellow, he's named Mr. Mellow because he kind of looked, when he was a baby, he kind of looked like, I don't know, he reminded me of Mellow Yellow for some reason. I don't know if you remember Mellow Yellow, but it was a soft drink. Google it. So Mr. Mellow is a Max Snow white and yellow tremper. This is going to be his, he was a 2019 holdback. This is going to be his second season breeding. He did great last year. He's a nice thick boy. Love those high sides. Look at those high sides on that white and yellow. There he is. Say bye. Say bye, Miss Mellow. All right, Miss Mellow's going back. Next up is the star of multiple videos. This is Cinco. So you remember Cinco had a prolapse. He's been with 3 females, and on the 3rd female, he ended up with a prolapse. So we did a couple videos. We did a part 1 on Leopard Gecko prolapse treatment, and then we did a part 2. Mr. Cinco goes to Beaumont because the home treatments ultimately didn't work. He ended up having to go to the vet, so we had to take him to an exotic vet over in Beaumont. So his enclosure is set up a little bit differently because he is on rest and recovery, and he's named Cinco. Actually, one of our followers on Instagram, when we did a name suggestion post, they suggested Cinco because he has a 5. He has a tangerine 5 on his back, which is why he is named Cinco. So he is a het-free, pure blood emerine. Really an F1 because we've been producing blood emerines for several years now, and we've never had one come out that looks like Mr. Cinco. So hopefully he gets all healed. Hopefully, actually, one of the 3 females that he bred with this year already. Hopefully one of the 3 females he bred with already this year give us some eggs. But he went to Beaumont. He got a stitch in it. He got his prolapse put back in. He got a stitch in it. He's doing great. He's a super sweet boy too. First year breeder, 2020 holdback. All right, next up is Eddie. Eddie is a pure black knight. He's a 2020 holdback. So Eddie's dad was an import direct from the Netherlands, from Furry Zerman, who created the Black Knight morph. And unfortunate for Eddie's dad, Eddie was prettier than Eddie's dad. So Eddie's dad's gone. He now lives in Canada. My buddy Mike at Toronto Geckos has Eddie, and he's going to be producing some pure Black Knights, eublepharous Holland line Black Knights. So Eddie is the base of our Black Knight, our pure Black Knight project, and he's named Eddie because I love Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. The song Black? Come on. So this is Eddie. He's been breeding. He has 3 or 4 females that he's going to be with this year. He's already been with a couple, and we already have eggs out. So looking great to continue the Black Knight Pure line this year. One of the things on Black Knights, they're very sensitive to temperature in that first year. So the reason you tend to see most males have a pattern like Eddie, he's kind of got that velvety Elvis, those old Elvis paintings that used to be in your grandma's house, kind of has that velvety black and gold Elvis look to him. The reason that you see more patterns on the males is males are typically incubated at a higher temperature. When you see a dark or almost black or completely black male, it was more than likely incubated as a female and turned out to be a male. Most males, temperature sex males and then ultimately males, tend to look a little more like Eddie. Sing it for us, brother. This is Oscar. Oscar is a pure John Scarborough line firewater. He's a little bit crazy, so I don't know if he's going to let me pick him up or not. He gets a little psycho. Not a biter, he's a runner. And he's named Oscar because he's a firewater, and the firewater is the Las Vegas albino line. And you might think he's named Oscar because he's kind of grouchy, and he's Oscar the Grouch. But no, he's named after Oscar Goodman, the former mayor of Las Vegas. He's just a little fidgety fella. He's a 2020 holdback that will be breeding for the first time in 2021. But he's a spectacular firewater. Look at that guy. He's settling down a little bit. He's not enjoying this. So we're going to let him go back. Stay over there, bud. Go in there. All right, this boy is Lulu 3. Lulu 3. Yeah, he's a boy. He's part of our Frosty Turk project, so he's a 2020 holdback. He is 87.5% pure Turkmenicus. And the whole Frosty Turk project is, it's a subject for a whole nother video. But that's Lulu. I'm sorry. Lulu 3. See you, buddy. This guy, he's 100% pure Turkmenicus. He messed up his cage a little bit, or his house a little bit. His name is King Louis II. And the reason he's King Louis II is his dad was also a pure Turkmenicus male. His dad came from John Scarborough over at Gecko Boa. And then we produced, a couple years ago, we produced King Louis II. We like to maintain a nice pure line of the subspecies Turkmenicus. We use it for test breeding and outcrossing. And that's what King Louis is. He's the king of those projects. He bred last year. He'll be breeding again this year. Nice, lean, wild type looking boy. They can be a little active. He's not overly active. Jumpy, I mean. He's actually pretty calm for a wild type. Alright, we'll stop bothering you. I'll let you go. Next up is a Max Snow Bell Radar. His name's Bo. You know, I think of bells, I think of southern bells. I need a name that works in the South. So I named him Bo after a really good guy I know. His name's Bobo. So this is Bo. He's a Bell Radar. Max Snow Bell Radar. First time breeder. He's a 2020 holdback. He's actually already bred this season. And we have eggs. So he's already produced, well, he didn't produce. He was a factor in the production. The only female he's been with so far this season has already dropped a couple fertile eggs. They're in the incubator right now. I really like bells. The color variation, or the contrast of colors on bells, particularly the yellows. And then they tend to have those brown undertones instead of a black or a gray undertone. It's just gorgeous. Temperament-wise, I don't know if it's just me, maybe it's our line of bells, but I find the bells to be a lot more mellow, a lot more calm than any of the other strains. Could just be me. But that's Bo. He tends to be in this moist tide a lot because it has dirt in it, and southern boys like playing in the dirt. This fella, he's a little small. He was kind of a late hatch. He was our 60th hatch of the 2020 season, but he was the most spectacular Max Snow white and yellow bold that we hatched last year. So we held him back, and hopefully he gets big enough. We're planning on pairing him up in the March, April, hopefully no later than May time frame. He's a little bit skittish, and he's not a big eater of mealworms. He doesn't love his mealworms, so you might see a cricket jumping around. He's eating crickets because we're trying to fatten him up. But because he was the 60th hatch last season, his name is Sesanta. Your name is not Sesanta. Your name is Miss Poppy Dog. We don't want to play. No, we're looking at geckos. So for my Italian friends out there, Sesanta is named Sesanta, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sesanta means 60 in Italian. So paisan, Sesanta. Let me know in the comments if I said it right. Come on, buddy. You're actually being very calm today. Normally a little crazy. All right, this fella right here, this is Ponyboy. Ponyboy is the product of one of our Black Knight outcrossing projects. We're working on a Black Knight Eclipse Super Snow project, and Ponyboy popped out. So he's a Max Snow Black Knight 100% head eclipse. And what was interesting about him is he's not carrying a yellow pattern. He's carrying a very goldy pattern. So we decided to hang on to him and see if we can put a project together to further work on that. I guess we're calling it the Golden Knight project. But that's Ponyboy. He's still in a smaller bin because he's just growing up. He's not quite big enough yet to go into a full adult male bin, but he will be pretty soon. He's starting to eat really good. He was on crickets for the longest time, but now he seems to not like crickets, and he's eating his meal. Whoops! He's eating his mealworms. He's got a little bit of tangerine on that tail. He's got a lot of gold in there. It's not really a yellow. It's kind of a deep gold in there. Interesting boy. We'll see. We're working on a little project with him for 2021. He's not going to breed until pretty late in the season. I think he's in the bullpen warming up. I think he'll be ready around April or May. So we'll see how he does. This is interesting. You don't normally see this. This guy's a little crazy, and it looks like he's about to shed. This is one of our Black Knight. He's a Max Snow Black Knight, 100%. Well, he's not het. He's visual eclipse. So he's part of our. We've been working on. I guess this will be the 4th season. We've been working on a Super Snow Black Knight eclipse project, where we're trying to make that really dark super snow with some white striping on them. And this guy is a 2020 holdback. His name's Pepe. He's got that reverse stripe. When he was born, you know, with all Max Snows, they're black and white. No pigmentation other than the black and white. And when he was born at hatch, he kind of looked like a skunk. So we named him Pepe after Pepe Le Pew. So he's going to be breeding. He's still a little small. He's in a female enclosure. He'll be moving up here pretty soon. He's eating really good, but he hatched pretty late in the season. I think he was an October 2020 hatch. So we're going to have to wait a good while until he's ready to go. He won't be ready to go until probably around May. We got a couple Max Snow Black Knight Eclipse females ready to go for him. So part of the project was to get a bunch of Black Knight into him, but also at the same time to make sure that they were visual eclipse, because one of the tricks when you produce a super snow, you're not 100% sure if it's visual eclipse or if it's head eclipse, because the super snow creates that black eye. So now we have Pepe and a couple females that are all visual Max Snow Black Knight eclipses. So anytime we produce a super snow, we know 100% in 2021 that super snow is an eclipse. So he's a little faded out right now because he's about to shed, but he's an interesting looking boy. There you go. Table's clear. That was our baker's dozen of our 2021 breeder males, and you got to meet the boys here at Luna Geckos. Don't forget, if you like this video, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, share it, be sure to comment, and remember, a lot of the details are down in the description, so more information in the description. Please be sure to check it out. And the shirt I'm wearing, I'm being told, actually fits me. So I finally picked one that fits me. This is available this week only, 10% off, lunageckos.shop. Be sure to check it out. And for everybody that got to see Miss Poppy Dog's cameo, I'm G. This is Miss Poppy Dog. See you next week.
It sound right, boy.